This video will show you the basics of using a Google Doc. So sign into your Google account from google.com if you're not already signed in. Enter your SuffieldStudent.org account and your password. Then you will be able to launch your Google Drive by clicking on the 9-tile app launcher. You can either go to Google Drive or go to Docs directly. I like to go to Google Drive first because I like to make sure that the docs I'm creating are going to be in a specific folder. So for example, in my Google Drive, let's say I want to work on classroom organization beginning of the school year. So here's my classroom organization folder. I did that by clicking on the plus sign and adding a new folder. It's already here, so I'm going to open it. In my classroom organization folder, I don't have anything yet, but I want to add a Google Doc. So click on the plus sign new and then click on Google Doc. Here's a blank Google Doc. It looks very similar to Microsoft Word and it has a lot of the same functionality as Microsoft Word. So up here you have your tabs of different options. Then you have a toolbar of all the typical word processing things that you might need. Again, if you're unsure of what things are, you can just scroll your mouse over it and it will tell you what each little button does. So let's start by giving this document a title. Right here it says Untitled Document. So click in there and then let's start with this as a class list. So I'm going to start organizing my students in my class by making a class list. So enter my title and hit enter. And there is my title. Now, if you watch the Google Drive video, you'll remember that you can star certain documents so that you'll be able to easily access them later or search for them in your starred or favorited folder. So I'm going to go ahead and star this just to give you an example of what that would look like. Again, let's say I created this Google Doc right from the Google App Launcher and I don't have it in a specific folder, I could click the folder button and you can move it to a different folder. So for example, right now it's in my classroom organization folder, but let's say I want to move it somewhere else. So you can go through on Drive and here are all of my available folders. If I wanted to start a new folder, click on this little icon down here for a new folder and then I can move this document. But for right now, I think it's fine. I want it in my classroom organization folder. So here's my class list. Maybe I'll start by giving it a title. Class list 2018, 2019. Again, all the same functionality that you would have in in Microsoft Word. So let's start here by taking a look at some of the things you can do that are different than what you typically do in Microsoft Word. So you have your file button here, edit, view, insert, where you would insert all like images or different special characters or equations. Formatting. So here we go with tools. There are some options in here that are a little bit different from Microsoft Word. So the first thing, we have a spell checker as usual. And then down here you'll see an Explore button. If you click on this Explore button, here you have an option to search the web and search your other docs. So let's say I'm doing a class list and maybe I want some clip art, so I might write classroom clip art. And here I can just go ahead and actually look for images that I could add in right here from my little Explorer tab on the side. So let's say I want this one, something simple, just click it and drag it. And here you'll see I have the clip art. What's nice about using your Explorer tab is the clip art here will automatically be linked to the location that you got it. So everything is kind of already cited as to where it's coming from, so you can make sure that if it's something different than an image or something that has to be copyrighted, you have it right there for you. So here, maybe I want to move this around. You can also insert files from your drive. Now here it says no matching files found because I have my search query as classroom clip art. But if I were to delete that, I can search my drive, images, and the web. So let's put something else here. Maybe I want a template of class lists. So here you can see, and then you can scroll through as you would on the web to look for whatever you would like to insert into this Google Doc. That's one feature that's a little bit different and useful, especially when you're doing research or when your students are searching for different URLs or images or anything that's from your drive. Again, this is a great tool to use for various different reasons. So I'm going to click on out of here and show you that you can also find the Explorer tab by clicking on this little star button at the bottom right as well. So it's easily accessible right here for you, and also from the Tools tab. Another interesting option under Tools is the Keep Notepad. Google Keep is the online bookmark organizer, and if you use it, all the things that you have saved in there will appear here in this little right side navigation. So if you wanted to reference anything that you've saved or look at something or insert a link, you can do that through Google Keep. Then another interesting feature is the voice typing. This is the speech-to-text dictation feature. If you want to use it, you click to speak, you would talk into it, and then the words would appear here on your Google Doc. One other interesting feature that I find really useful is the comment feature. Here you'll see this is the little speech call out where you can open to see the thread of comments. Now if you're collaborating with somebody on a document and you're adding in questions and comments, or let's say you're reviewing student work and you're leaving comments for them, this is where you would go to see all of the comments that appear in one thread. So for example, if I wanted to write myself a note, like I'm making a class list, and I can click on the little plus sign here that appears, and over here I can write a little note to myself that would say, like, check in the office for final list. So you can use this as a way to do reminders for yourself, or like I said, if you're collaborating with somebody, maybe I'm using a different type of document, let's pretend, and I'm doing Unit 1 for a realistic fiction reading unit. I might click on this and leave a comment if I'm collaborating with a colleague on lesson planning or planning a unit with someone. I can leave a comment here and just, whatever it might be, check for lessons for day 1. And then I can add a comment. Another interesting feature is you can also, if you wanted to add a comment to be linked to someone specifically, you can use the plus sign, and then you would start typing their name as an email address. So let's just say I'm going to put myself here so it doesn't go to anybody else. You would use their SuffieldStudent.org, that's their Gmail account. And here you can see that I can assign this comment to whoever I would like. Now it says assigned to you, meaning myself, because I put my own email in there, because I don't want to, have somebody else get an email. But for example, that's how you would actually assign a comment to somebody. So for example, if you're reviewing student work and it's something that is a pressing issue that really the student needs to look at as soon as possible. So let's say it's after school hours in the evening and you're reviewing a homework assignment that they submitted. You might want them to fix it before they come in to school the next day. So you would type a comment, leave them a little, maybe some directions, use the plus sign to add their email, assign it to them, and then hit assign, and they will automatically get an email saying that there's a comment for them waiting in this Google Doc, and they'll be able to go back and review it. So it's a good way to not only collaborate with people or share information with students, but also immediately assign someone maybe an action item or something that they have to do. So those are the kind of different features in Google Docs. One thing that is very interesting and super helpful is add-ons, and that will be in a separate little video about how to use add-ons. So that's basically a quick overview of Google Docs.